How we doing, YouTube? Good arse o'clock in the morning to everyone. It is the 28th. It is Thursday. It is March. It is 2019. So, I was going to give it a miss today. I wasn't going to do a Thursday update. I wasn't going to do anything today. I was going to focus on work and go home, go to sleep. But when I got home from work yesterday, I looked at my car and there was a ticket on it. Now, it's been a little bit difficult trying to park my car of late, purely because it's a new car and we hadn't had our parking permit sorted out yet, because the old parking permit for the old car was to run out at the end of this month. So it made no sense to, at the time, renew it just yet. Okay, so there was a reason for it. And basically where I live, literally on the other side of the wall, is a completely different borough called Lewisham. Literally, I can literally spit from my house to the other side of this wall. That's how close it is. And there is permitted parking on that side of the wall. Don't get me wrong, but I know what the law is and I know what the loopholes are when it comes to parking. And there were 3 spaces in that area, specifically 3, that are not covered by any kind of signage which say that is a permit holders only area, you see. So anyway, I get a lift home from work from my mum and dad, because they had my youngest son yesterday. So they picked me up at 3 o'clock from work. They drove me home with my son, which was nice. And as I'm walking past the car, I look up and I see a yellow sticker on it. And I thought, nah. I've had to park there from time to time when there's been no parking where I live. Bearing in mind where I've been parking this car, or my various cars over the years, there's been no sign of anyone giving tickets at all. However, there is a woman that lives right at the bottom and she's notorious for being a bitch. And what she's done is, because she's seen my car parked there, okay, and it is a permit holders only cul-de-sac, so to speak, she's called the parking people and she's gone, "There's a man over there who's parking his car. He's not paid his permit. He doesn't live here." Oh, now bearing in mind, there are approximately, how many now? I'd say there's a good 12 houses on that row of houses. Do you know how many spaces there are? There's spaces there for 30 cars. 30 cars. And the 3 where I'd be parking my car, right, is there's no signage. And I've said this, there's absolutely no signage. And I will be uploading a picture of this either onto Facebook, because I did take pictures to prove it, so I'm going to appeal it, and I'm going to put a picture of it on the thumbnail, because this has no thumbnail at the moment. But nah, so there I was, coming home from work to be greeted by a yellow sticker, or one of those yellow stickers on the car window. £60. £60 fine. If not payable within a certain time limit, then doubles to 120. And the thing is, that's the first time, and you got to remember, I've lived there 8.5 years. Oh, cheers, Josh, really appreciate that. I will read the rest of the comments. I just spotted that one quickly. In 8.5 years, I've had to park my car there from time to time. Never, ever, ever seen anyone come round for giving tickets, ever. And yet this woman that lives down there, I'm gonna call her the harpy bitch, you know, calls up the parking permit people and she goes, "Excuse me, there's a man parking his car down here today. I don't like it." That's what that's what she's doing. You know, she's kicked up us. So all I'm gonna say, all right, and a woman who lives in the borough of Lewisham on Amberley Grove. I'm being very specific. I'm not going to give your address out, but if you ever see this, I want you to understand karma is a bitch. Oh yeah. Okay, and I'm not making any threats at all, but in regards to karma, I want you to understand that the universe works in mysterious ways and bad things do happen to bad people. I'm not going to do anything apart from make this video, to be fair, having a bitch about you. But you know, the universe will arrange itself to make balance. For what you do to me, you will receive equally. Okay, so bitch you. Oh, so there we go. I mean, things, I will appeal it because I often win appeals when it comes to parking. The last time I had a ticket was actually where I live. And it was at the time I had a blue Vauxhall Astra, you see, and it was permitted. I had a permit, I had a paid permit to park on that estate. And the paperwork that went along with that permit stated very clearly that you cannot park on a white line, you cannot park on a yellow line, you cannot park in a keep clear section, you cannot park in a box junction, and you cannot park anywhere that is causing an obstruction. So at the time, I parked my car not in an actual space, but I parked it in a place where it met all of that criteria, but without being in an actual space. Because where I live, there are no yellow lines, there are no white lines, there are no keep clears or box junctions or zigzags for that matter, you see. And where I parked it, I was not causing an obstruction. So it was P4 Parking at the time. The company is called P4 Parking. And they are about as crooked gets. Because what happened was I got home from work that specific day around about 20 past 1 in the morning. When I went down the next day, the ticket on there said 1:30 in the morning. So they literally stung me after 10 minutes. I appealed it, and they rejected it. I appealed it a second time, they rejected it. I even was going to go down to their head office, but if you go to their website, what you'll find is there's no address, you see. And when you call the landline number to talk to someone, you get someone who sounds like Ugandan Knuckles. You know, it's like, "Oh yeah, I want to appeal my parking ticket," and the man on the other side goes, "You do not know the way. I must protect my queen. I'm not going to let you have your appeal on your ticket." That's what happens there, you see. And then you will try looking for the address, and all it does is give you a Google Maps map with Trafalgar Square and a great big arrow that goes down right in the middle of Charing Cross. So I know they're not based at Charing Cross, you see. That's what happens there. It's a shyster company. So what I've done is I took it upon myself to email them and forward it to my local council and also a friend of mine. And what it basically states was, here is a copy of the parking agreement with all the terms and stipulations. Here is a picture of my car with said ticket, because I like taking pictures of things, you see. You know, I said, at what point does this car being parked here break any of these rules or, stipulated in the above agreement? Because I would love to know. If this ticket is not quashed with immediate effect, I will be taking this to a small claims court. And they rejected it again, don't get me wrong. However, 8.5 years down the line, I've heard nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't pay it, and to this day I will never pay it. I think someone read it and panicked and went, oh my goodness, he knows the way, he is protecting his queen. So that's what happens. I think that's what's happening with that one. But in regards to this bitch, karma is going to bite her in the arse. It really is. You see, you think I'm paying £60 fine for parking somewhere where there is no legal signage? See, where I live, on the other side of said wall, everywhere where you can park, there is legal signage. You see, loopholes, people, loopholes. Always look for signage. If there's no signage, you can park. Okay, so there we go. It's my little rant for the morning. I hope everyone's well. It is Thursday, so it's coming to the end of the week for many people, but not quite me yet. I've got today, Friday and Saturday to go. Also, I'm going to ask a request of someone. I know it's a big ask. Okay, there's a couple of big asks actually, to go with my big ask. The first ask is if everyone could just share one video, that just one, that would mean an absolute world to me. You know, it's like, pick one that you find interesting specifically, if you've seen any of them, just share one video or recommend this channel to just one person. That would mean a lot to me. Also, the only other thing I want to ask really before I start reading comments is if anyone plays Warhammer 40k. This is where we're going to start delving deep into me as a person and the things that I like. See, I like mini wargaming. I like models, you know, of that type. I like Games Workshop stuff, and I do actually play Warhammer games. If anyone out there has any recommendations on how to beat a Tau or Guard army using Necrons, drop a comment below. Okay? On a personal one-to-one level, we can even talk on Facebook, because I've had a bit of a winning streak lately, and I fear my winning streak is going to lose at the hands of a very good friend of mine. So, you know, let me know. Anyway, if it's your first time joining me, hi, I'm Chris, you're watching Chris's Real Talk. Drop a sub below, turn on notifications, and again, share one video. That's all I ever ask. And if you don't like a video, then please feel free to dislike it, but drop a comment below and tell me exactly why. So, there you go. Anyway, I want everyone to have an absolutely wonderful day. You know, the day is only as good as you make it. Let me read some comments. Right, so first of all, we've got Freddy 2004. Hello, are you doing a night shift? PS, I live in an area which has N8 route masters. Ooh. No, I'm not doing a night shift. I'm doing a really early. Josh, God, 3 a.m. start. It's depressing, isn't it, mate? Yes, actually, Josh, it is very depressing. I'm actually starting at about 5 o'clock, finishing at 3. And yes, thank you so much for the congrats on the 1K subs, because you're part of that. Josh, you are part of that being 1,010 to be precise subs, and I value absolutely everyone that subs to my channel and takes time to watch and comment, so that means the world to me. What do you drive, if you don't mind me asking, pal? Car wise, I drive a Nissan Qashqai. I actually did a good customer service review on that, to be fair. You can catch that video about, I think might have been 6 or 7 videos down, I'm not sure, can't remember, about 2 weeks ago. I drive a Nissan Qashqai on a 19 plate. Are you a football fan? Do you know what, I used to be a football fan. I'm not big into football really, but I do have a team of choice, which is Chelsea, and win, lose or draw, Chelsea. I sent a link to your channel to be to a couple of mates. I'll tell you what, I really appreciate that. I really do. Cheers, Freddie. So it's getting there, you know, the channel's I'm halfway there to getting this channel approved by YouTube to have ads put in. I know ads ain't the best thing for everyone because they're annoying, you got to skip them. I do it all the time, But you know, I'm trying to push this channel to become something a little bit more. There's a channel which I follow. This guy's got 400 and something thousand followers. He's got nearly 500,000 subs, sorry. And I think the channel's called, I can't remember now, Answers with Joe. It's a really good channel actually. And I've been watching his videos over the last, say, 5 months. And I thought, let me see how this guy started, because he's got a really professional looking setup right now. You know, he does it really, really well. He's calm, he's composed. He's got it down to a T. However, he's got all of his old videos there. So I thought I'd scroll through a lot of the older content, because he had a lot of content. It's all in different playlists. He's had to sort it out. So what he's done is the format that he's using now actually stemmed from a slightly older format called Ask Joe. And it goes back, his channel goes back 12 years. 12 years. And it got to a point where he found a format that worked for him. You know, he found something that worked for him and he stuck with it. And from there, it just grew and grew and grew and gained traction and gained popularity, to where now, if you look at the format he's doing now, the way he does things compared to how he was 7 years ago, okay? Although it's similar, it's changed, it's more refined, and he's doing so well. And the thing is, he's a down-to-earth guy. So go and find that guy. I believe it's Answers with Joe. Go and sub to his channel. I may drop a link to his channel in the description box, to be fair. But no, he's really, really interesting channel. Go and do that. Let's have a read of them. Let's have a look here. Thank you very, very much for the good stream, mate. Have a good day at work. Oh, do you know what? You're very welcome. Thank you very much for watching. I will have a good day at work, and I'm not sure if you're working, if you're going to sleep, but whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Random question. What's your favourite bus and train? My favourite bus, I'll tell you what, my favourite bus I've ever driven. Okay, and it's not one that I actually drive now. Basically, it's the it's a Wright bus. It's the newer version of the Gemini Eclipse. So what you've got is with the company I work for, we had WVLs, which is Wright Volvo low level, and we had WHVs, which was Wright hybrid Volvos. Both of them essentially the same bus, only one was a hybrid and slightly longer. And to drive those buses were comfortable, they worked, everything was where you needed it to. They never broke down, ever. They were just good buses. You had the odd slow one, like WVL or WHV4, but no, they were decent buses. And the thing is, they were still relatively new when I believe Boris Johnson at the time decided to roll out these ridiculous Routemasters, which ain't bad buses, to be fair. Because that's what I drive at the moment, is a new Boris bus, a new Routemaster. But they didn't need replacing. You know, they were a much better bus than what we're using at the moment. And no, that's my favourite. And the thing is, those buses, those specific buses that were on the route I drive, they're actually on the 171 and the 36 route out of New Cross. So they're still going. And it's just a shame that I can't drive them anymore. What's my favourite type of train? As trains go, I don't know much about trains. I don't know. What I'm going to try and do at some point, though, because I know there's a lot of people out there, specifically on my channel, who are bus enthusiasts and train enthusiasts, because obviously I'm a bus driver and I do bus videos from time to time, is I'm going to try and get on a live on here with a friend of mine, and he is an actual train driver. I want to try and get some good conversation going with him on a split screen, on a live, to make everyone happy, because I think that'll be good. I'm going to try and work on a live with Double Decker Anton. He is still alive. He is a good friend of mine. I do see him from time to time. He is taking a break at the moment, but like I said, I have figured out a way of going live with someone. It's just trying to make it work, because I tried doing it a couple of days ago but I got the settings wrong in the Google YouTube website thing, because you have to connect it to Hangout, this, that and the other, but it does work. I just need to do it correctly. So yeah, I've got a few things in the pipeline in that respect. And Average Steve, if you manage to watch this, if you do manage to get this far, honestly, I haven't forgotten about you. It's just literally down to time. Okay, I am going to do everything you need this week, and I mean everything this week. So, you know, forgive me on that, Average Steve. And by the way, for those of you who don't know Average Steve, it's easy. What you do, and I'm going to ask everyone to do this now, even more important than sharing my videos. Okay, Average Steve is a YouTuber from the States. Okay, I'm proud to say that I've, over the last few months, become friends with this guy. He's funny, he's super intelligent, but a bit of a goofball. Okay, and his channel, I like his channel personally, because it's my sense of humor. Go drop him a sub, please. Just go and drop a sub. Type in Average Steve. Average Steve. If you go back to some of my videos, I know I haven't put many descriptions in a lot of my videos lately, but scroll back about a month and he should be there. There should be a link to his channel in one of my videos. Go and drop Average Steve a sub. This guy is funny. He is funny. Okay, so I'm just giving my friend a plug there, because I'm just surprised he hasn't had more subs than what I've got, to be fair. I thought his videos would have just taken off, and he's just not gaining traction, and he needs to. His channel's brilliant. Thoughts on Article 13? Thoughts on Article 13, basically, this is yet again the European Union trying to seize control of something they don't own. You see, it is literally the European Union trying to destroy the internet. That's what it is. So, for those of you Remainers that are adamant Remainers out there, let me just lay this down for you. The European Union are bullies. They are bullying every other European nation by saying that they're not allowed to make independent trade deals with the UK. They are bullies because they are saying to every independent nation that they must relinquish sovereignty. And there is actually a time limit to this, because it's going to happen whether they want to do it or not, because of the Lisbon Treaty. Every single member state of the European Union will have to give up its own sovereignty and surrender to the European Union. That, to me, is illegal, because you can only give up your sovereignty or rights as a country, as an independent nation, if you lose in war. So this is why joining the European Union was a big mistake anyway. But the European Union are bullies, and that's exactly what they're trying to do now, is take control and stop people from viewing content online, basically. That's basically what it's down to, is the European Union taking control of something they do not own. The European Union do not own us. They cannot control us. Joining the EU was illegal in the sense of, yes, we had a referendum in the 70s to join the single market, but it was all the other terms and conditions and stipulations that went in with joining the customs union, you see, all for that free trade. And when the Lisbon Treaty came in, I believe in 2009, and you read that thing, it's impossible. You cannot read the Lisbon Treaty. It is impossible to read, and I'll tell you the reason why. It is worded, okay, if you was to put actual decent space in between each letter and each word, would turn out to be, I believe, 3,000 pages. And it is worded with so much jargon deliberately to put people off from reading it. And they've also changed the font to make it really, really compressed and squashed and hard to read. So what happens is, what should have been 3,000 pages is actually condensed down into 300 or so pages. Okay, full of technical jargon that no one understands, that is almost impossible to read, and they did that deliberately, you see, the Lisbon Treaty. So I've been saying for a while that I'm going to be doing a video on a simplified "This is the Lisbon Treaty" video, because it is coming, you see. But yeah, so that's what happened. That's what happens with that. All right. So you can only ever give up your sovereignty as a nation if you are defeated in war or surrender in war. We did none of those. So signing over our freedoms and our sovereignty as an independent nation over to the European Union is an act of treason. It is an actual act of treason. So yeah, the European Union doesn't own us. It doesn't own the internet, and yet it wants to try and impose on us what we can and can't view online. Soon it will get to a point where they'll start telling every other member nation of the EU what toothpaste to use, you see, and that they must pay 50% in tax of whatever they earn and whatever they spend. It's ridiculous. So I'm not happy with the EU, never have been, never will be. Already subbed, I think he was in Double Decker Anton vid at one. He was, because we all talk, we're all friends. Best place you've ever travelled to? Last question, I promise. The best place that's just a very good question. I tell you what, one place I love, okay, and it's in this country, and it's a very simple, very basic one. You know, a lot of people may not agree, but one of the best places I've ever been to is Hastings. And the reason why I love Hastings is because I used to go there with my mum and dad as a kid. Okay, to me, Hastings has memories. But not only that, is you can go down there, parking's relatively easy in Hastings. You will get, bar none, the best fish and chips you will ever have in your life down at Hastings, especially if you go all the way to the old town part of it, where you've got the old the active fishmongers, because all their fish is fresh on the day. You know, you've got the cliffs up there. You can get the hillside train or carriage all the way to the top, where you can spend an afternoon just there alone, which is absolutely wonderful. You can see the ancient beacon that's at the top there, and of course you can do all your shopping or spend your day down on the beach. It's just one of those places that bring me joy. Josh, wow, I live 25 minutes from Hastings. Not a bad town, a bit run down. Thing is though, it may be a bit run down, but it's what you make of it. Okay, see, for me, I love anywhere by the sea. I could have quite easily said in this country Dymchurch, which I love Dymchurch. I could have said Brighton, because everyone loves Brighton, but I chose Hastings. But more's the reason that I love Hastings is this. When my cousin passed away 6 years ago, and I keep talking about Mark because he holds a good spot in my heart. He's my cousin and I love him. But he used to love going down to Hastings too. And when he passed away and we got his ashes, we scattered his ashes at Hastings, in one of the only places that he truly loved to go. You see, so it holds a special place in my heart because it was technically the last time I got to say my goodbyes to him. So no, I love Hastings for many reasons, and that's one of them. So anyway, before I start getting all teary-eyed and all gooey, I'm gonna go. I want everyone to have an absolutely fantastic Thursday.